worldwide as military men of excellence, as people who perform. They have restored statehood virtually to Sierra Leone. They shed their blood to ensure the survival of Liberia. How come, I ask? How come is it that in their own very nation, all of a sudden, they are unable to fight a ragtag army of insurgents? Let me emphasize, nobody should make the mistake of calling this a guerrilla warfare. It is not guerrilla warfare. These insurgents have APCs. These insurgents come in trucks. They don't walk in 2s and 3s. They invade and they capture. Is anybody telling me that our own armed forces, of which we are proud, those men and women in uniform, have become so incapacitated that they cannot deal with insurgents with 2 or 3 armored vehicles and about 20 trucks? Is there any Nigerian here that thinks our armed forces have deteriorated to that extent? The answer is clearly no. So there is politics involved. Take Chibok. They have just strolled once more without a shot being fired. I'm only taking the recent examples to tell you why we are here today. Take Chibok. Before the insurgents marched in, our security forces have disappeared. Of course, when an army is retreating, it cannot carry all the arms and heavy equipment that they have. So what am I saying? The Nigerian government has virtually become the armorers of the insurgency. So something peculiar is happening in the northeast of our nation, and it is politics. It is politics. And we are here because we met less than, as I told you, 48 hours ago. And the APC decided that power does not call for the blood of a single Nigerian. We decided that we must tell the nation that we have implicit confidence in our armed forces and their capabilities. We decided to tell the nation that the PDP is sacrificing the lives of our brothers, of our sisters, of our mothers, of our children for selfish, very selfish political ends. Why? 3 states, Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, are massively controlled by the APC. They have been warning us that they intend to declare a state of war. How do you prove that there is a state of war? They can only have an argument for that when they have allowed the insurgents to take over substantially those 3 APC-controlled states. Let me make one thing very clear. It is not the result of the elections that bother us in the APC. It is the totally unnecessary waste of the lives of our own brothers and sisters Those that are lucky to live are refugees today in their own hometown, their own home region. Are we going to let that continue? What are you going to do in February 2015? What are you going to do in February 2015? That is the message. No party should be allowed to waste the lives of our brothers and sisters just for the sake of retaining power. That is point number one. That is why we are here on a salvation rally. But I call it, given my privilege as national chairman of the APC.
Very sorry, National Chairman. Very sorry, please.
A warning.
Very sorry, National Chairman. Very sorry. Please, one of the television stations we have paid for live, you are muting the audio of our National Chairman. We pay for this program. Thank you.
APC, New Nigeria. There must be a new Nigeria. APC. Point number two. Point number two. As we are here, standing here today, 12 states in the last stage of the PVC/continuous registration exercise have been totally messed up. What is unique is that these 12 states are primarily APC strongholds. This is not the act of people who want free and fair elections. This is not the act of people who want you standing in front of me, you in the stands all around this venue. They do not want you to exercise that power that you have. The power to hire your president that you want, and the power to fire one that is at the head of a pack that has disappointed your expectations and aspirations for 16 wasted years. Do you want those people back in power? I get your message. We want to warn, and that's warning number two. And that goes to INEC, on top of which the hapless, totally hapless Jega presides. A good man, but a good man who is being messed up. A good man who does not know half of what is happening under him. A good man who does not know that his computers are being sabotaged at this stage of the PVC and continuous registration exercise. We want to say, and we want to warn, that the APC is watching the exercise very closely. We have noted the reduction in the number of registered voters in some of our key strongholds, Kano and Lagos, each one by over 1 million registered voters. Why is it that it is only APC stronghold that suffer this fate, when some other states, in fact, got increases in voting strength? So I warn that we are watching that exercise very, very keenly. We are glad that there has been extension in some states, but we want to say that we will not accept that any Nigerian voter